Good morning, happy Saturday afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. Great to have you. This is Paul Martinelli, Empower Living Community. We're back going to pick up here on the Fully Resource Program. Took a couple of weeks hiatus to be able to promote some of our friends' books who are launching and wanted to support them. But we are back. We start this lesson on the intellectual faculty. So up until now, we've been working on this idea of our self-image, our self-esteem, really our self-concept, and how that controls everything we do, all of our behavior in our lives. I can honestly say that learning, understanding, and applying the principles of these intellectual faculties changed everything for me in my life. I was a struggling high school dropout janitor. And my strategy for life was a strategy of hope, right? I always hoped that something would change. In other words, that if there was going to be any improvement in my life, it would have to come from some outside condition or circumstance. That was my strategy. I was operating from this belief of chance and luck, and my luck always seemed to be bad. I was earning $20,000, cleaning toilets late at night. And I was doing what, my grandmother had told me to do, which was do honest work, do hard work, and that you'll get ahead. And we all know that's not true. You could do honest and hard work and not get ahead and really not create the life that you want to create. You could be held hostage by limited thinking if that's your strategy. You have to break free from these invisible boundaries. And things really began to change when my mentor, Patrick Hayes, came into my life and did for me what I hope I'm doing for you. And that is, he gave me of his time, as I'm trying to give you, and he put me in front of some great teaching, some great strategies. And he did his best to hold me accountable. And my gift back to Patrick was to do what he said to do. My gift back to Patrick was to walk the teaching that he had been giving me. And so, although I'm not able to mentor you through this platform, kind of one-on-one or speak back and forth to you, Patrick was just working with me one-on-one in his office. Here, we're working with thousands of people. I hope that through this program that we're doing here for free online, that you'll see the value in it and make a relatively small investment into this program and join the mentoring program through the Fully Resource Program and be able to speak with me and let me listen into where you're at in your life and let me speak into your life. Let me do for you what Patrick did for me. So we're going to jump in. This is 9 minutes of a 42-minute piece of the program. So the entire program is about 9 hours of video and then 6 or 12 months worth of live mentoring. This one section is about 42 minutes long. We're going to look at 9 minutes of it, and we're going to look at the faculty of reasoning. So there's 6 intellectual faculties. We're going to tackle number 1 today with reasoning. So I'll see you on the other side. Be well. The use of these intellectual faculties will be life-changing for you, okay? So the first is your reason faculty. Now, what you need to know about this faculty as it relates to your reprogramming of your self-image and really reaching your goals is this. You reason 2 ways. You reason inductively or deductively. Now, when you reason inductively, this is where you are choosing your thoughts and you're comparing one thing to another. This is where you gather independent facts and then draw them into a single conclusion. Now, deductive reasoning is a lot different. When we reason deductively about something, we start with a conclusion and then we gather facts that support the conclusion. We hear this term used a lot by criminal defense lawyers when they are, accusing the police of being deductive in their investigation. meaning that the police made up their mind all along about their client's guilt instead of seeking the truth. They only sought out to find facts that supported their conclusion that their client was the guilty one. You get a good defense attorney, and she will convince the jury that the homicide detective made the decision right after they came to the scene of the crime, and that the husband had killed the wife, and they never went out looking for the real killers. They were deductive in their reasoning, okay? So that's the big picture. Now let me throw a few more bits of information you really need to understand in order to really get this one. And trust me, if you can get good at using your reasoning faculty and learn how to use it to control both your inductive and deductive reasoning faculties, it's the difference on the physical plane of being able to see or not see. If you cannot see, you can still live a normal life, but you will never be able to experience all that is possible for you to experience. It really is that powerful, and perhaps is the one faculty I use most and I use with great skill. It is also the faculty that has allowed me to literally earn millions of dollars, not just in my lifetime, but millions in a year. What I find comical is when I used to think of the word reasoning, I used to think of the word thinking. And when I would think of the word thinking, I used to think of the word smart. And when I would think of the word smart, I used to think of myself as dumb and stupid. And for years, I operated from a belief that because I lacked a formal education, I would never amount to anything. And what's funny, really comical to me, is I know lots of really smart people who have advanced degrees in education, people who know how to reason, and they know how to think, and they have lots of knowledge. And for almost all of them, I earn more in 1 month than they earn in a full year. And that's the truth. I know lots of really smart people, lawyers and doctors, who earn $300,000 or $400,000 for a year's worth of work. And I make that every month and have for a number of years. But here's the really cool thing. I've also made that in a week, and I've made that in a day, and I've earned that as much in 1 hour. Now that's hard to believe, but it's true. And the really, really, really cool thing about it is that if I can do that, you can do that too. I not only believe it, it's become my purpose in life to show people how to do it. And for me, the mastery of this one faculty has made all the difference, okay? So enough of the motivational seminar, let's get kind of back to work here. So we can reason both inductively and deductively, but we can only reason both inductively and deductively in and with our conscious mind. In our subconscious mind, we can only reason deductively. And this is really important and can really help you connect some major dots for you with regards to your self-image, your behavior, and your results. Remember, when I said you were born into this world, you hadn't yet developed your reasoning capacity. So you were really only working with your deductive mind. And that's a really good thing because you needed to be programmed with certain things that you would want to do deductively, meaning without having to think about them. Kind of like being able to live your life on automatic pilot in certain areas. So you have to learn how to talk, walk, feed yourself, be potty trained, right? Brush your teeth, the basic building blocks of learning, like how to count, your ABCs, how to spell C-A-T cat and D-O-G dog. So from birth until about the age of 7, every thought, every idea, condition or circumstance would just pour right into your little mind, and you would accept them deductively without ever questioning them. You just accepted them as truth, and not only as truth, but as your truth. So mom or dad may have told you stories about a jolly elf who lived at the North Pole and had flying reindeers, and he had a bunch of other little elves who worked with him year-round making toys for all the boys and girls in the world, and that the jolly elf who was named Santa Claus would keep a list of all the little boys and all the little girls' behavior. In fact, he had a list of those who were naughty and those who were nice. And this jolly elf, kept a scorecard of sorts of all the children in the world, everywhere. And because he was everywhere, in fact, he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. And his list was very accurate. And if you were a nice boy or girl, then one time a year on Christmas Eve, this jolly elf would make all of his elves load up his sleigh, and they would then kind of connect the sleigh to a flying reindeer in front of the sleigh, and they would fly off around the world all night long, and he would deliver toys to all the boys and all the girls. And if the weather was really bad, and there was a terrible snowstorm, because he lived in the North Pole, I think I left that fact out, but often the weather would be really bad at the North Pole. So what the elves would do is they would put one reindeer who had a glowing red nose at the front of the sleigh, and he would light his nose so bright that the jolly elf could see where he was flying the sleigh with all the toys. Now, if you were a naughty boy or girl, Santa would come to your house, slide down your chimney. Even if you didn't have a chimney, he'd slide down your chimney, and he would leave you a piece of coal in your Christmas stocking. You believed that. Think about that. I went through the pain of telling you the whole story because listen to how ridiculous it is now as an adult. But not only did you likely believe that growing up, you knew above all things that this was the truth. You were convinced of it. You were also likely convinced that there was a tooth fairy, an Easter bunny, a great pumpkin. And the reason you believed it was because you couldn't yet reason inductively. You were deductive to the idea, and the idea got programmed right into your little mind, and that belief drove your behavior, as all beliefs do. So you went to bed early on Christmas Eve, and the night before Easter, you put your tooth in a tissue under your pillow for the tooth fairy. Now here's where the power really is. Look at the next diagram in your workbook, and you see the diagram of the baby's mind, wide open for all the thoughts, ideas, images, perceptions, traditions, beliefs, thoughts, vibrations that were in your awareness. And all of that became the foundation of your self-image and your self-concept. Now, I believe that life... Wow, just think about what might have been dropped into your little mind when you were a baby. Just think about, I wrote some of these things down. Think about what you were programmed to believe about money. I always thought that, money doesn't grow on trees. I always thought that the only way that you can get money was to take advantage of other people. My family kind of demonized the rich. Think about what you were taught about opportunity. Good things come to those who wait, right? That we should just sit back and wait for opportunity rather than going out and seizing the day. How about our ability to overcome challenges, right? I was taught, you have to be in the right place at the right time in order for me to overcome challenges or to take advantage of opportunity. And that's not true. I mean, you can be right in the middle of the right time at exactly the right place and still not win. There have been plenty of times in my life where, all the people around me were winning and I was losing. It has nothing to do about you being in the right place at the right time. It has everything to do about your awareness you're even there. Your awareness of your potential when you are there. Because you could be in the wrong place at the right time or the wrong place at the wrong time. But